Chapter 2. Before the Valley. Before the Valley, I had a calendar. Not a metaphorical one, a real one, color-coded and layered, dense with meetings, flights, reminders, deadlines that implied momentum, dinners scheduled weeks in advance, conferences booked months ahead. My life moved in 15-minute increments, each block of time assigned, optimized, and guarded by a dedicated full-time assistant. If it was not on the calendar, it did not exist, and if it was scheduled, it would happen. I wore tailored suits and stood in conference rooms with glass walls, debating strategy under recessed lighting. We spoke in phrases like scale, runway, execution, market access, the language of forward motion. My passport held stamps that suggested movement, not confinement, and airports felt like proof that life was expanding. I believed movement widened a future. I'd gone to medical school and trained at Harvard, years of discipline and progress. None of it taught me how to stand still. There is a quiet arrogance that comes from structure, because when your days are scheduled, you assume your future is too. When people book you for next quarter, next year, you begin to believe you will arrive there. I was not hiding, not drifting, not waiting. I had built a life in the open. I came to the United States as a physician in training, studied, worked, adapted, and learned the rhythms of this country. The softened disagreement, the polite deflection, the nod that means yes, and the nod that means I hear you, but I will not commit. I paid taxes, signed leases, renewed licenses, participated fully. I fell in love with Aspen. There are few experiences more stabilizing than being chosen, not professionally or socially, but personally. She chose me, and we built something tangible, a home, furniture assembled slowly, coffee mugs that stayed in the same cabinet, shoes by the door that did not move. We spoke in plural and planned in years, vacations, milestones, quiet Sundays, a future that felt measurable. In 2015, as the law permitted, I applied for asylum. I submitted documents, evidence, affidavits, completed biometrics, attended appointments, answered follow-up requests. I complied with every instruction, and then came silence. Weeks became months. Months became years, and somewhere a file existed that I could not see. For 10 years, nothing happened. 10 years is long enough to believe you are safe, long enough to mistake delay for approval, long enough to forget that discretion exists. The absence of a decision can feel like stability, and silence begins to resemble reassurance. You move forward because nothing has told you not to. I built a career during that silence, led teams, launched products, spoke on stages about growth and strategy. I believed in systems, in compliance, in process. I believed that if you followed instructions, you would be treated as an individual, that the absence of wrongdoing meant safety, that time invested translated into roots. There is a mythology about belonging, that if you work, contribute, love, pay, build, belonging will follow. I believed that mythology. In Rome, if you lived in the city and owned property, you could vote, and to vote was to be recognized by the state as a citizen. The day Aspen and I signed our mortgage, the banker congratulated us. "Welcome home," he said, sliding the papers across the table. Signatures filled the margins. Ownership recorded in a county ledger. Keys exchanged. It felt official. Anchored. It felt Roman in its own way. I did not yet understand that permanence in one system does not guarantee permanence in another. When the asylum interview notice arrived, it did not feel like a threat. It felt like resolution, an appointment to formalize what life had already demonstrated. I was not a fugitive or a headline. I was a man with a mortgage and a woman who had chosen me. The Valley did not take a criminal. It took a life already in progress, and that distinction matters. Detention is not dramatic when it happens to someone already broken. It is destabilizing when it happens to someone who believed he belonged. The Valley did not begin with shackles. It began with paperwork, patience, trust. Administrative power does not shout or slam doors. It sends notices and schedules interviews in neutral fonts. You arrive voluntarily, bring documents in a folder, dress professionally, expect to leave. Before the Valley, I trusted the system. I believed in sequence, action leading to reaction, compliance leading to continuity, effort leading to outcome. But immigration law moves in discretion, and discretion is a quiet instrument. It does not announce itself, it simply decides. 9 months without a charge, 9 months without a sentence, 9 months in administrative waiting, time suspended but not explained. That is not punishment in the traditional sense. There is no verdict, no declared guilt, no crime to point to. It is something quieter. And quieter things are harder to name. They do not bruise visibly. They rearrange you internally. Before the Valley, my identity was layered. Father, physician, scientist, executive, partner, homeowner, taxpayer, neighbor, each layer reinforcing the others. Inside the Valley, those layers collapsed into a file number. Belonging, I learned, can be conditional without warning. It can rest on a signature you have never seen, on a decision made in a building you will never enter, on discretion exercised without explanation. The most destabilizing moment of my life did not begin with shouting. It began with an interview notice: paper, ink, date, time. I followed the rules, complied, appeared voluntarily, and still, a life in motion can be paused. Not ended, paused, suspended between what you built and what you are permitted to keep. Before the Valley, I believed stability was cumulative. Stack enough years of contribution and proof of character, and you become safe. The Valley taught me something else. Safety, when it depends on discretion, is not ownership, it is permission. And permission can be withdrawn quietly. 9 months without a charge, 9 months without a sentence, 9 months hovering in between. This story is not simply about what happened inside. It is about how easily a life can be paused. I did not yet understand how fragile the framework is between planning a future and pleading for one. How light the word belonging can become when it depends not on who you are, but on who decides. Before the Valley, I had a calendar. After it, I had time. And when you cannot shape time, you begin to feel shaped by it.